Okay, hey man, see? My audience. Alright. Being a leader is not an easy task. You are in control of everything around you, and your decisions can influence what happens. Leaders from around the world use different tactics and leadership strategies that those tactics can easily be compared. Some take a laid back approach to leadership and use a trusted group of people to help them directly. Others take a more ruthless, cunning individuals who strike fear into enemies and even their own people. When thinking about someone of that nature, one person sticks out to me as the pinnacle person of such description, Vlad the Third. Vlad the Third, or Vlad Tepes as he's more popular known, is a ruthless leader who stands out in the history books as one of the most vicious and terrible leaders of the 15th century. The name Tepes is derived from the Roman term the impaler, which Vlad earned due to his favorite and most used method of execution, impalement. While Vlad is known for his dark and terrible reign across Wallachia, his impact on medieval events and impeccable leadership are still recognized today. Vlad III was born in 1531 to Vlad II. Vlad II was eventually proclaimed voivode or warlord of Wallachia and began his reign over the region. Wallachia is a region in which is now recognized as Romania and was actively sought out by many factions in the 15th century, thus being a various hotspot for famous battles and confrontations. While his father was in control, Vlad III had many knowledgeable people who educated him on different subjects. By the age of 9, he had a very wide understanding of many different languages and mathematical subjects. Vlad II ruled Wallachia from its capital city, Targovista, from 1436 until late 1442, where he was pushed out by the Hungarians. At this point, Vlad III was captured by the Ottomans as a political prisoner at the age of 11. He, along with his half-brother, were held by the Ottomans to ensure that Vlad II decided in favor of the Turks in whatever decisions he could. While being held, Vlad III and his brother were educated by the Ottomans in many different subjects, the most important being combat skills. Vlad was trained to use the weaponry of that time, how to combat enemies on horseback, and different offensive and defensive strategies when it came to defending a castle. Somewhere between 1447 and 1449, the exact years debated by historians, Vlad III and his half-brother were released from political prison. His half-brother, Radu, decided to stay in Turkey with the Ottomans, as he was highly praised and respected in the community. Vlad, on the other hand, was not fond of the way he was treated by the Ottomans or his brother. Once released, Vlad headed back to Wallachia to locate his father. When he arrived, he found out that his father had been executed and he was exiled from Wallachia. With nothing to lose, Vlad III hid in the mountains of Turkey for 8 years, planning his return to power. Finally, in 1456, Vlad succeeded in securing the throne of Wallachia, and the reign that made him famous began. Once settled inside Targovista, Pionari Castle to be exact, Vlad immediately started to break down the corrupt officials within Wallachia and clear any nobles that didn't agree with him. To do this, he started punishing those who were guilty of committing any sort of crimes. Any and all crimes, even something as small as lying, was punishable by impalement. The victim was impaled by a blunt pole and was left there, sometimes for days, to die. People in Wallachia witnessed this cruel form of torture and feared Vlad, but respected and obeyed him out of fear that they would suffer the same fate. He constantly was finding new ways to instill fear onto his people, but impalement was always seemed to do the trick. The people of the castle responded quickly by watching someone get impaled, and due to this, crime became almost non-existent. Throughout his 6-year reign of Wallachia, Vlad attacked many forts and cities, leaving a path of destruction in his wake. His ruthless form of combat, taught to him by the Ottomans, proved to be effective against his adversaries. In early 1462, Vlad decided to decimate the area of Bulgaria and got the Ottomans' attention. He used techniques of disguise and language to sneak into Turkish camps and at night kill everyone inside. In this conquest, it is said that Vlad killed over 23,000 people, many of them being Turkish soldiers. It has been debated whether or not the attacks were resentment towards the Turks or Radu, his brother, but there has been no evidence to support this theory is true or not. Once back in Wallachia, the Ottomans caught wind of what happened in Bulgaria, and the Sultan of Turkey demanded an attack on Vlad. He gathered up an army of 90,000 soldiers and marched off to Wallachia. Vlad was unable to stop the army before reaching Wallachia, therefore employed use of different tactics. By using tactics now known as guerrilla warfare, he was able to kill or capture more than 20,000 Turks while they were on their way to Torgovista. Once the Turk army neared the border near Torgovista, they witnessed a sight that made Vlad live up in the history books. In a field, there were over 20,000 impaled soldiers, women, and children, all Turks. The psychological effects on the approaching army were enough to scare them off, but not for long. Another army, headed by Vlad's brother Radu, was dispatched and eventually seized Pionari and ended Vlad's terrible reign over Wallachia. Vlad fled to an ally's protection, only to be tricked and captured by that so-called ally defecting. Vlad spent 12 years in a political prison. Once released, Vlad formed an army consisting of soldiers from Transylvania, Hungary, and a few surrounding communities. However, he took the throne at Wallachia. However, this reign was extremely short, as the Turks shortly attacked. Within 2 months, Vlad was killed. It was debated among some historians how Vlad actually died, but the real answer is still unknown. Some think it was a coup staged by Vlad's own men while Vlad was distracted by the oncoming army, or that he was killed by his own men by accident, but no one really knows. While we may not know the exact story how Vlad Tepes ends, what we do know is that the leadership skills he displayed were extremely effective, and yes, while they were unorthodox, they worked out quite well when it came to Vlad getting what he wanted. He ruled his lands with an iron fist in order to protect his people. His emphasis on gruesome torture techniques were employed to get criminals to stop desecrating his lands and harming his people, and while what he did is quite disturbing, it worked well for the task he was trying to achieve. Vlad will go down in the books as one of the most ruthless leaders of all time, but his successful leadership and his impact on the events of that time are impossible to ignore. Thank you.